Welcome, podcast viewers now and listeners, to the Lone Road iRacer's podcast. With me, your host, Guy Robertson. We are new to YouTube, but this is the start of our third season doing the podcast, and we're brand new to YouTube. You'll find the audio version on all podcast platforms. We have listeners from around the world, folks. So, welcome to the show. We're going to look first at the season stats that we've all received as season 3 has just finished and we've just transitioned into season 4. But we're also going to look at some interesting iRacing stats as well, folks. So that's going to be our first topic this evening. Statistics are really important to me in my day job, so I'm really interested when I receive "That's a Wrap" email at the end of each season from iRacing for my personal stats and to understand how iRacing is doing as a whole. So my personal stats for season 3, I raced 299 races with an average start of 10th and an average finish of 9th. 5 wins through the season and 98 top 5s. I drove 3,806 laps in total, and 58 of those were lead laps. But I'm really interested in setting season's goals as well. So my season's goal for season 3 was to get to 3K or over in the Formula license from an IR perspective, and I belted that out of the park, folks, and finished with 3,123, I think. So totally blitzed that. Again, it was a yo-yo season. There was some lows, there was some highs, of course, and that's iRacing, folks, and that's why we do it, and that's why we love it. But I wanted to specifically take you through some interesting iRacing stats, and we're going to look at those in detail. So iRacing, what I've done, I've compared iRacing's results from season 3 back to season 2. Total race sessions in season 2 were 478,887. That's a massive 33,462 more than season 3. Now, we know that iRacing had the DDoS attacks and it brought iRacing to a standstill for a few days, hours, over the weekends as well. But that potentially alone, could it have the knock-on effect to what I'm about to share with you? The knock-on effect is nearly 500,000 less driver entries in season 3 than season 2. 500,000, folks. That is a hell of a lot of drivers. My question is, should iRacing be worried about those stats? I don't know. Maybe this is all part of iRacing rejigging the season as well and chopping and changing. That has also had some effect to driver entry. But we look at some of the other results and it's astounding. Over 21 million less laps driven in season 3 than season 2. Now, if the DDoS attack itself had that effect, wow, iRacing really did suffer, folks. But there's some other stats as well. So over 33 million less miles were driven. And at the end of the day, it's all about hours in the sim from our point of view, the iRacers. And the knock-on effect to that was nearly 300,000 less hours spent driving in the simulator on iRacing, folks. So that's something to think about for us all. Is iRacing starting to go on a decline? We know through COVID there was a big upsurge in entries. And obviously this is the start of a new season again. So whether or not through the beginning of season 2 into season 3, iRacing had a decline as new iRacers left the service maybe, and maybe there was some of the already people on iRacing who also left as well. Is that a knock-on effect to the rain? Who knows, but it'll be interesting to monitor and see if we see similar stats through the end of Season 4. So we'll revisit all that as we get to the end of Season 4, 2024. I just want to talk about personal goal setting as well. Whether you do it or not, I think we've all should have something in life to kind of give us a smart target, but stretches a little bit. So think about your own personal stats as well. For me, I'm trying to get to 3.5k IR in the Formula license and get to 2.5k in the sports car license in this season. So that's my own personal challenge. Good luck with whatever you decide to go for. Cadwell Park has just been released as part of the new season for Build 2024. So I'm going to take this next section of the podcast to go through the different configurations, how those configurations could help us, the iRacers, learn the track quite quickly, and then do a full lap on the full course, just to give you an insight into what kind of track it is, whether you bought it or not, or yet some of this footage may help you to decide, but personally it's a definite buy from me. So let's look at the 4 different layouts. So for people who don't know much about Cadwell Park, it was an established racetrack from 1934 and taken its current shape in 1961. It's in Lincolnshire, England, and Cadwell Park has a long history of hosting both motorcycle and car racing. While its narrow width makes it an infrequent host for four-wheel racing above the club level, its British Superbike event is the premier event in that series, and British Supercar also visits the circuit regularly. Cadwell Park boasts 4 layouts: the 2.17 mile full circuit, a moto variant that debuted in 2004 after Motorsport Vision purchased the track, and 2 shorter club and woodlands configurations. The full layout features numerous hills and crests through its 18 turns, with the most famous segment, the mountain, often launching racers into the air as a natural jump. So the footage won't see me flying through the air in the FF1600. However, I have seen some footage this week of the Mazdas actually taking air and all 4 wheels off the ground. So that might be interesting in iRacing for X's through the season. We'll have to see. But we're going to look now at each individual layout. The full course is very tight from a track width point of view. So we'll suit Formula cars such as the Formula V, the Ray FF1600 and the Skip Barber. Another car that may be available to race it is the FIA 4. In the sports car license, it will definitely suit the Renault Clio, the Mazda and possibly the TCRs. Anything bigger like GT3s, overtakes will be really difficult, but we'll have to see what iRacing puts out on the schedule. The moto layout brings an extra chicane to tackle. It's a good natural section to slow the car before the next difficult section, where it's quite difficult to master the braking and exit onto a small uphill and then a right-hander. Both club and woodlands are short tracks. However, from learning the track, these split the track into 2. So depending on how you learn the track layouts, these configs could really help you learn 50% of the track each time. Then bring the full layout in once you have mastered the 2 halves. Overall, I really enjoyed Cadwell Park, practicing in it. I think it will bring a new dimension to iRacing. It'll be very difficult to get 0Xs. There's lots of off-track areas that you probably on other tracks get away with, but not on this one. We're in the pits, just about to come out. The first corner is a left corner called Coppice, and then that will take us to a steady sweeping right-hander. But when your tyres are warmed up, you can really hit it nearly at full speed in 4th. as we come on the subtle right, and we are on Park Straight, which is the steady incline up to the park, then a quite tight curve, and you'll already understand that the track is quite tight. So that's Park, going into Chris Curve. Now take note of a red post on the right hand side. That's your entry to Gooseneck, coming through to Mansfield. On the right hand side you'll see some cones. That's where the moto layout is, the extra chicane. And we're coming up to the mountain. We've got this slow left hand into the mountain. That's where you'll see your Mazda's taking off. Then we're going to a complex called Hall Bends, so you've got left, right, coming up to a tight hairpin and off tracks on the left on black matting, so you need to be careful. Then coming through to Barn and on to the start finish straight. So that's a full lap around Cadwell Park, folks. Like I said already in the podcast, Cadwell Park is an exciting track for me, hopefully for yourselves as well. Go and buy it, hopefully with your free iRacing dollars if you've done all the right service. If not, I think it's about $17 to buy it. It's a very, very good track, new to iRacing this season. One of the other eagerly awaited cars for Season 4 was the McLaren new GT3 Evo. Sadly, it wasn't there as part of the deployment by iRacing. Apparently, for no particular reason other than McLaren haven't sanctioned the green light to release it to us, the iRacers. So that's pretty disappointing, really, when they've been building up to this car. There's been clearly a week 12 stroke, end of week 12, week 13 deadline for the deployment of all the new toys for us, the iRacers, to dabble with. So it's quite disappointing from a project point of view that possibly McLaren haven't sanctioned it at the day of release. Now, as projects go, there's clear stage gates to go through before things are moved on to the next phase. So not having the final car given the green light by McLaren, to me, is quite a bit of an oversight from the team at iRacing. As bad as it sounds, I'm being truthful. When I worked in the automotive industry, if a car was delayed, then that was megabucks, because you got pre-orders, you got press releases, etc., etc. So to then go quiet about why it's not been released was, again, quite disappointing. I personally put a question, where is the McLaren, because I hadn't read anything. Now, somebody did tell me that there was a previous thread in the forums earlier in the week that was finally taken down by iRacing themselves due to some of the feedback that they were getting through that thread. So, again, my question was, because I hadn't read any reason why it was delayed, why is there a delay? Please explain. They should and could have put a bit of a press release out, an email on the day of release to say, guys, the McLaren is not coming. We're very sorry. To be a couple of days afterwards or on the next update, through early doors after launch. But no, the iRacers had to go and ask that question. Now, there is something I'm going to read through. Names have been redacted through this, but this is apparently an official iRacing forums response. So bear with me a second. So basically, this has been posted by somebody else in the thread that I started. So one of the final steps on building a car is sending off screenshots of the car to the owners of the license for them to do a final approval of what we created. They then either say everything great, proceed, or tell us what we need to change, and we will then go through the process again until we get that thumbs up. We're currently waiting for a thumbs up. So the car is coming out, it will be in your hands, we're just waiting for the final word and we'll put it out there. It sucks for us as well. We put a lot of work into building this car, and I know the people at McLaren that helped us want it out there just as much as we do. It's just one of those quirky things that happens sometimes when you're working with licensed content. Now, again, why are we leaving it till the day before launch to get a green light off the license holder? I don't understand that. Surely there's been a slippage in this project, but to leave it till virtually hours before launch. I'll leave you with that thought, folks. Let me know your thoughts in the commentary below. What do you think about how this has been handled by iRacing? This little section of the podcast is going to bring together some news from the real world that may transition into iRacing, but also any iRacing rumours that we've heard through various social media platforms. So bear with us because this may change week on week. This week's news. So the FIA released a new F3 car for the next 3 seasons, in line with the FIA's sustainability policies for the 2025 season and beyond. It runs on Aramco's advanced fuel, which is being developed to be sustainable. That's not all. It will also race with new Pirelli 16-inch tyres, which from 2025 will be made from natural rubber that has been certified by the Forest Stewardship Council, or the FSC. The car has been designed to boost overtaking capabilities, which will produce more exciting races, or that's the plan. Still supplied by Dallara with a lower ride height and a new aerodynamic package, the new F3 with its top speed of 300 km per hour and 0 to 200 km an hour in 7.7 seconds, this new F3 will be a fan's favourite. The question is, will we see it in iRacing anytime soon? With iRacing and its real world 2 sim and its strong partnership with the FIA, I'm sure we will see it in the sim very soon. IMSA have confirmed their race schedule for 2025. Not sure if iRacing religiously follow the real world schedule, however we know they try to be as close as possible. The IMSA 2025 calendar is as follows. January the 17th through to the 19th, Daytona International Speedway, and that is the Raw before the Rolex 24. January 23rd to 26th, the Daytona International Official Race. March 12th to the 15th, Sebring International Raceway. April the 11th to the 12th, Long Beach Street Circuit. May the 9th till the 11th, Laguna Seca. May 30th to the 31st, the Detroit Grand Prix. June the 6th till the 8th, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. June the 26th till the 29th, Watkins Glen International. July the 11th till the 13th, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. July the 31st to August the 3rd, Road America. August 22nd to the 24th, VIR. September the 12th till the 21st, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And the end of the 2025 season, October the 8th through to the 11th, finishes at Road Atlanta. And there's more rumours coming out of iRacing already. We heard a little bit from Greg Hill about the Bend Motorsport Park. So the Bend Motorsport Park is now also on the list of in development circuits. The South Australian venue was previously being used for rounds of the Supercar Championship and was completed in 2018. It is built to FIA standards already, which means a long front stretch and plentiful runoff areas. However, it also features some undulation, at least one on certain corners, and multiple layout options, possibly up to 10. The longest is a gnarly 7.7 kilometres or 4.828 miles in length. In November, iRacing plans to capture data from the Adelaide Street Circuit. The Adelaide 500 event, which is part of the Supercar calendar, runs the 16th through to the 17th of November. A version of the street track was previously held Formula One, the last Grand Prix there taking place in 1995. Since then, it is perhaps best known for the 500-kilometre event for the V8 touring cars. Following the 2020 round, the venue went on a hiatus, only to be revived in 2022. So it's about time, for me anyway, we got more street circuits onto and into iRacing in the sim. Chicago Street Circuit, I think, is absolutely brilliant, especially in the smaller cars like the Skip Barber and cars like that. Finally, to leave you with a few future teasers, well, these are from Greg again, really. We have potential offerings from a car's perspective. These include the Chevrolet Camaro Gen 3 Supercar, the Ford Mustang Gen 3 Supercar, Legends is due for a car overhaul, Gen 4 stock car is coming in 2025, so is an update to all ARCA models in 2025, and finally a new dirt road and GT3 cars coming to iRacing sometime in the future. And wait for it, folks, really hot off the news. In the patch on Monday was the delivery to us, the iRacer's, of the promised McLaren 720S GT3 Evo. Better late than never, I guess. So, as it reads, joining the ever-growing iRacing GT3 grid, the new car is enabled for both rain and AI racing, and will replace the McLaren MP4 12C GT3 in all series. Since 2019, the McLaren 720S GT3 has proven itself one of the world's most competitive GT3 platforms. That success is only continued in 2023 with the introduction of the 720S GT3 Evo, which improved upon the car's aerodynamics, suspension and overall balance, and other key elements. The 720 GT3 Evo is a popular custom car the world over. After a long-standing association with the McLaren brand at both its automotive dealerships and in the GT4 class, FAF Motorsports brought the car to IMSA's GTD Pro Class for the 2024 season for the first time. The team scored its first podium with the 720S GT3 Evo at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca in May, adding to the long history of the McLaren GT3s running up front all over the world. And as we said during last week's audio podcast, if you have just bought the old McLaren, you'll get full compensation, and depending on the time, you'll get less compensation. So I think it's just over a year, you get zero. So iRacing finally got there for us, the iRacers. Just imagine only using iRacing's paint shop within the sim. It's okay, gets you some livery to race, I guess. But add trading paints and what do we get? Colourful, imaginative liveries that really bring the sim to life. Since Steve Lavender started up trading paints in 2010, The third-party app we all love has been providing creators from the iRacing community a chance to make liveries, wraps, race helmets and suits. Guess what, folks? It's now issued its own set of stats for Season 3 2024, and we're going to look at them now. So the first stat gives us the top colours used, and as you can see there, it's very easy to see. Bright red is number 1, kind of a yellowy green is number 2, and some low pink, maybe pink colour as number 3, folks. And they were the top colours for trading paints in Season 3 2024. Our next stat is the most popular vehicle painted on Trading Paints in Season 3 2024, and it goes to the Ford Mustang GT3, where that template has been painted 28,670 times. That is massive, but we know Season 3 was all about the new Mustang and the new Corvette, so it shouldn't be a surprise because both cars are very popular on iRacing and Trading Paints. The most favoured showroom paint goes to Michael T. Dirk with his Ford Mustang 60th Anniversary Champion Spirit paint. It was favoured a total of 282 times in Season 3 2024, so congratulations Michael T. Dirk. We are now getting into the most popular painters. And in third place was Paul R. Challoner with 3,083 drivers racing Paul's liveries. In second place was Don Craig with 3,187. And the overall winner for Season 3 2024 is John Robino with 3,363 iRacing drivers racing John's liveries, so big congratulations to John. And the final stat that Trading Paints have provided is the most raced showroom paint. And the winning livery is a JDR Mustang IMSA livery by Josh M, and it was raced a massive 784 times, folks. So, big congratulations to Josh M. Carry on creating your wonderful creations on Trading Paints. And I'm sure we'll see more exciting liveries, race suits and wraps, and race suits even in Season 4 2024. And wouldn't we be all lost without Trading Paints? So, thank you for iRacing to allow Trading Paints to even hook up with Trading Paints and provide this epic content for us, the iRacers. Well, we've come to the end of the first podcast on our Season 3 of the Lone Road iRacer's podcast, and our first on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to be reminded that there's a new podcast out. And obviously, like I said at the beginning, the audio version will be in its same place every week until the foreseeable future. Don't forget to give us some feedback in the commentary sections, both on all the audio podcast platforms and in the YouTube version as well, folks. So that is a wrap for our first episode. Happy iRacing, and I'll see you on the track soon.